Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. We are live. We are live about 40 odd minutes before kickoff for the gap to preview the game between England and Scotland. Delighted to say we got nearly a full house tonight for the preview. We got Mr. Steve K. Steve, how you doing? You all right?
How you doing, Jerome? Looking forward to this one. Gone to Tesco's, bought my shirt.
That's it. Stenciled the badge on.
It's quite a good badge. I thought it was one of those rubbishy ones. You know, you put it in the wash and it just comes off.
Yeah,
but it's quality actually.
Yeah,
anyway,
decent.
Carry on.
Decent. We've got obviously Mr. Nathan Ellington. Nathan, you all right?
Yeah, all good. I'm excited about the game today. So yeah.
Superb. And last but by no means least, we've got Marie. Marie, you okay?
I'm excited. I have no stakes in this game, which sometimes can be the most enjoyable. So I'm just gonna, take it as it comes.
You can watch it as a neutral.
Yes, I can watch it as a neutral.
No, you can't do that.
a neutral with a slight English bias.
Exactly.
So obviously the teams are out. With the England team, there's been a couple of changes to the team that played against. Yeah, to the team that played against Croatia. I think we're probably all quite happy with definitely at least a couple of the changes. Steve, what are you saying about the starting 11? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much what I thought it would be. Although it wouldn't be the team that I would have picked. I like the back line now. Bringing Reece James in instead of Kyle Walker. I think he's going to give us that extra bit of legs going backwards and forth. Not so much over a certain amount of distance, but he'll certainly be able to go on longer than Kyle, I feel. Obviously, we've got Luke Shaw now back. Really pleased that he's there. It's about, you have left backs in left backs position. I don't want to see Kieran Trippier back there ever again for this tournament. Phillips and Rice, I'm happy with. It's just the front line. I would have been a bit different. I would have loved to have seen Jack Grealish play tonight. Yeah. And probably, and that's the only change. I would have liked to have seen Jack Grealish up front. Maybe instead of Foden, but other than that, it's a pretty good side.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Nathan, obviously, your man Luke Shaw's in at left back. I guess you're hoping that this will be, he can sort of keep his place for the rest of the tournament, and we won't see another right back playing in his position.
Well, when you got a left back in Shaw, who's probably been the best left back this season in the whole Premiership, to not playing in the first game I guess it was a massive kind of shock, really. Especially, you normally play someone that's you don't usually see someone playing in a position which that other player is their normal position, and they're actually better than them at it, and they're not playing. So, I'm happy to see him in there. And obviously, it might have been a thing where we played Croatia before. He wanted a bit more experience. For some reason, he wanted them in, and he knew that he was going to change it up this game. So it's always horses for courses. So I don't mind that. It worked out anyway for the best. And now he's gone a little bit more attacking, a bit more balanced, and he realizes you probably need that balance to make things happen. Looking at that team, to be honest, I'm happy with it. James does do well going forward. I think he's probably better delivery into the box and stuff than Walker. But defensively and obviously pace-wise, Walker is a beast when it comes to that. But again, they're good enough. That back four is very good. Rice obviously is going to keep his position. Mount, he's stayed in, and then you've got Phillips, who probably was a man of match last game, so he was always going to stay in the side. Foden hit the post. He did really well early on, and then faded quite a bit, I would have said. So he would have probably been a person maybe you would have thought might change. Sterling obviously scoring, and Kane, you're never going to take out the team. I would have liked to see Grealish come into it, but I see where he can make them changes if things are not going his way. He can put an extra midfielder in there. He can drop Foden back and bring, for example, he could take one of these midfielders out and swap him with Grealish, and swap Foden back there and put another forward in like Rashford. So it's really interchangeable with the subs he's got. Sorry, Marie, I'm giving probably a bit too much time there. So that's what I think.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. That's fine. Marie, I guess this is probably a game that Scotland, obviously after losing the first game, they probably have to win this one. So do you think that we'll see like an attacking Scottish team, or do you think that it will be the case where, you know, England will have a lot of the ball and they'll look to counter-attack? How do you reckon they'll play it, considering they really need to win this game, Scotland?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to lay it out there now that I estimate England to have 70% possession in the first half. And, you know, that doesn't mean much. We saw that Spain, honestly, we saw that Spain had 86% possession against Sweden and didn't score.
Wow.
And honestly, Sweden had the better chances in that game. So I'm not meaning that to like mock Scotland or praise England. I just think if we look at the Scotland team, they are very solid in defense. And I think they're really going to bring the battle today. I mean, their defenders they have heavy Premier League experience. They know their opponents, most of whom play in the Premier League. And so I think that will really be the battle, you know, and I'm sure like psychology will come into it with all the fans. It might be the loudest game we've seen at the Euros yet. You know, that will have an impact. And although it's in Wembley, I mean, I think neither England nor Scotland fans will like to hear this, but that kind of makes it a home game for Scotland as well. Because there are so many Scottish people in England. They'll be crowding in the pubs tonight. They'll be crowding Wembley. I mean, there are so many Scottish people that live in London, and it's, I don't know, like a 5-hour train from Glasgow. So I think Scotland is really gonna, in Germany, we have the saying, rühren den Beton. They're really gonna stir the cement today to try and put up the wall. Yeah.
Nice. Nath, I'll come to you first for your prediction, if that's okay. How do you see this one going? What do you reckon the result's going to be?
I think we'll get another win, to be honest.
You're quite confident, yeah?
Yeah, I think they're going to I don't think they're going to really go for it too much. I think they'll see that they won't defend and try and counter-attack us. I think they'd probably go for. And I think we'll have too much for them in attack. And if we don't have too much for them straight away, we definitely got the players that will come on and make something happen. So I know we're not a high-scoring team, to the time. And for all the possession of the last game and all the domination, we didn't really have much clear chances. So,
no, that's right, yeah.
You know, it's one of them things that we've got to fix that. We've got to fix that. And with the players that are probably coming off the bench, that's when I'm expecting that to happen. But it was weird because we played better before we made the changes. You know what I mean? In the last game. So again, you need more time to get into the game. But I think we can win this 2-0. I think we're going to get a 2-0 victory this time. Goal scorers, I'm going to go with Harry Kane today. He's going to get 2. I'm going to get Harry Kane 2 today.
Yeah. If he wants that golden boot, he's got to start, hasn't he?
Yeah. Good time to start.
Yeah. Steve, how do you see this one going? And just a question actually I wanted to ask you, Steve. Obviously, Kieran Tierney's back in the Scotland team. Do you think he'll make much difference to them tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know how fit Kieran Tierney is, so they're putting a lot on him because he's been out for a while now. He's come straight in and into an absolute massive game. But if Kieran Tierney's on it, then yeah, sure, he will make a difference. And they've also brought in Billy Gilmore as well, which a lot of Scottish fans have been absolutely crying out for in the last game. A lot of people expected him to play. So taking off me England that. I'm looking forward to seeing how Billy Gilmore performs tonight. It's a very strange Scottish lineup, the way they're lining up. I mean, Nathan might be able to add on, but I can't work out where McTominay's playing in this system.
It looks like he's at the back.
Yeah, I think centre back. Yeah.
Is that? I mean, that don't. Yeah, I can't. I don't remember. He may very well played like Man United there before. I don't know. Right. But I can never remember him playing there. But obviously they must have trusted him. So
I'll tell you what it might be. I think they might be playing three at the back with Tierney to the left, and maybe Hanley in the middle, perhaps, and maybe
O'Donnell on the running back.
Yeah, they could be doing that.
I've seen McTominay play there before. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you know what?
Has he played there before?
I think it's a 5-3-2. Oh, not a 4, with Scott McTominay sitting just in front of the back 4. You know, like them old Italy formation.
Possibly, yeah.
And the back 4. That'll be it. Instead of the Fred McTominay thing, it's just McTominay's own just sitting in front of that back 4. I think that's what it is. And Kieran Tierney might be left side centre, who moves out into the left back spot when Andy Robertson moves upfield. So that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's like their defensive, like Tierney, Hanley, and McTominay. Although we've got Tierney and McTominay playing as the three at the back, that's not any of them's ideal position, is it? You know, McTominay is more or less a midfield player, and Tierney's more of a better, like as going football as a wing back rather than a defender. But anyway, look, it's going to be interesting to see. I agree with Marie with the fact that, you know, this is going to be. England's going to have the most of the possession, and you know, and Scotland are going to just try and hit England on the break. But there's players there for Scotland that you know can do things, and I think the inclusion of Billy Gilmore gives you a little idea that they're not just going to sit back all the time, Scotland, because he's an attacking forward player, so it's not like they've put another sort of defensive midfield player in there. But as far as the scoreline goes, look, these games can go either way. I'm going to go for 3-1 England. I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for. I think he's going to have a great tournament. I'm going to go for Calvin Phillips is going to get 1, and I think Kane will get 2, and I think for Scotland, I think. McGinn will get Scotland's goal, but I think we've just got enough. But it ain't going to be easy.
Yeah. And Marie, how do you see this one panning out?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Nathan and Steve. I foresee a 2-goal differential as well, and I'm gonna contradict myself a little bit because I said that they would be stirring the cement, but I also predict that England will score 3 and Scotland will score 1, and I think we'll see the majority of those goals in the second half, just when people start getting tired, start making mistakes. I think Scotland's goal is going to come from a Robertson cross, because there's only so many times that you'll be able to stop Robertson on that, sprinting down that side. And he's such a gifted crosser of the ball. So I think we'll see a Robertson assist. And for England, I think, Mason Mount and Phil Foden, I think they'll get their shots in, as I think that Scotland will focus heavily on Sterling and Kane, and they'll be able to benefit from that. So I see both of them scoring.
Yeah. All right. Superb. For me, these games are always normally always closer and tighter than what you think they're going to be. So I reckon England are going to nick it by the odd goal, so maybe 2-1 with Kane scoring a couple as well. That's my.
We've all got Kane then. Oh no!
Except me. I don't have Kane.
Marie does. Marie has trust.
Yeah.
But it is worrying, really. If Kane is not on it again, we said in the last preview, of the Croatia game, in the post, if Kane doesn't score and he's not on it, where do they come from? And that could be a problem tonight if we're not on it.
Yeah, they got a supply. They got
That's
supply,
it.
though. It's strikers only as good as his supply, and especially a player like Kane. He's not a player that's going to get it and run past everyone. You need to supply him, and that's where the Shaw and the Reece James comes into it this time, and hopefully the Mason Mounts and the other players can also do their bit. But we need to balance to this time, get forward and the first time cross rather than cut back and try and cross. So it helps a lot. I'm telling you.
Just very quickly, what this team selection showed me, I think, is that Foden and Sterling are very much his first choice pair of wingers. Because if they weren't, he could have very easily just put Grealish in today and it wouldn't have made a difference. But he's gone with the same players after, a few days after the first game. So anyway, look, it worked last time, so hopefully it'll work the second time.
And Sancho's back in the squad. Just want to drop that in there.
Yeah.
Yes, Bundesliga.
But you know what? One thing he has done is playing the players that are in form. Not about who's the best player, who's in form. And that's what a lot of managers don't do. They usually go, Rooney injured. You need to bring him. Let's put him in. They could have done the same with Henderson. Let's get him in. Let's start him. Let's start Rashford, even though he's been playing up the best injury. No, you're not playing the best. Just sit on the bench. We'll bring you on if we need you. So that's great news for me.
Yeah.
And I think that gets you the respect of the team as well. I mean, these players are together for like 6 weeks of the summer, and usually they live in huge villas with their families. They're bound to get cranky, and there'll be cliques and jealousies. I mean, we all know this if we played team sports, and I mean, maybe you can speak to this more than others, but if the coach rewards good performances, then everyone is going to have to kind of begrudgingly accept that. And I think they will, and he'll earn the respect of the players that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally, definitely, 100%.
Rightio, everyone. So we're about 25 minutes away from kickoff. So we'll leave it there, I guess, and all get ready to watch.
Yeah.
So thanks everyone for joining. Thank you for joining, Steve. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Ryan. Pleasure.
Yeah. Nathan, thanks again.
Thanks. Thank you.
And Marie, as always, thank you once again.
Dankeschön, gerne.
So, what's that, Nate?
We're back at 10, yeah?
That's it. Join us. That's it. Join us at 10 after the game. We'll see how our predictions went, and see you then. And come on, England!
Come on, England.
Come on, England!
Go Scotland! Just kidding.